Hello there. Today you have chosen to relax and chill to sound mug specialist. You have decided to try and obtain some tingles from mugs, and also whilst tuning in, you are here to also learn about some mugs also. And when I say learn, I don't mean learn something about mugs. Learn about what mugs I would recommend unto you for drinking out of, and different purposes which these mugs will be best suited for. So, with each particular mug, there is a unique sound which was built in to that specific mug. Of course, all the mugs which I have, all of my mugs make sounds because I make ASMR videos. So my mugs have to make sounds, and if they don't make sounds, then I cannot use them. But all my mugs are completely different, but with an overall theme. And we'll go through my favorite collection, which I have here with me. So what I would like you to do is just to find a nice spot to listen to this video, and we will learn and talk about some mugs for ASMR purposes, create some triggers to trigger your ASMR, and generally have a great time with mugs. Always great as a time you can have whilst talking about mugs. So, let us get our first candidate here. Which we have here is one which may have been featured in a previous video, and this mug is certainly one of my favorites. So, of course, it is a Star Wars mug. Now, being a humongous Star Wars fan, I get attracted to these mugs like moths to light. I particularly like this one because it contained Darth Vader himself, but also the stormtroopers on the back there. So they're together, and I've never really seen that purple contrast in there also, which I loved. So aesthetically, this was certainly a mug which I was drawn to. But it's not only about the sound or the look. The most important thing is what's its contents going to be, and the quantity, the shape. For me, this became the hot chocolate and biscuits mug. So this became a perfect size mug to have hot chocolate in and dunk a pack of biscuits in. That is something which I do as a ritual on a daily basis. There's nothing better than finishing off a day and then filling up one of these, as it's the perfect size, with hot chocolate and dunking some chocolate biscuits. And that to me is heaven, and that's probably why I have a slight addiction. But this mug serves the purpose of the hot chocolate Dunkin' mug, as majority of these mugs, they have their own category, really. So we put that one down there. So the next one. This is my very patriotic mug, and maybe this will help clarify some people who think I dwell in Australia and other places like Asgard. So I got in there before you, hopefully, and this is one of those mugs which I've had for a very long time now, and it's just, for me, it's more about the size of the mug there. For me, that's a perfect cup of tea, or size for a cup of tea. And when I say cup of tea, obviously I mean herbal teas, as I don't drink normal tea. I really don't like it. I love herbal tea so much, so this cup is the perfect herbal tea cup. It also does fit in the category of hot chocolate on occasions when I want to up the size a little bit. If I was having a milk hot chocolate, then it'd probably go in this one. Let's get some sounds out of this mug for your relaxation and to send some triggers over in your direction. sticking with the theme like we had with the first mug. I do have a bit of an unhealthy obsession with Star Wars prior to what I said about really liking it. It's everything Star Wars for me. I think you won't find a bigger Star Wars nerd than the one that's sitting right in front of you. But as far as mugs go, this particular mug is one of my favorites for hot chocolate and biscuits in the evening. This is a heavily used mug and one which has seen much use. Of course, every mug has its very unique sound. It has a unique feature about it. The handle on this is somewhat bigger than the previous one, which is the same sort of size. But for me, I always have an issue with drinking out of mugs and finding the perfect mug, as I need a handle which is big enough. And for me, I'm not a fan of those cups which are like that, and you have to hold them really awkwardly, and you're at risk of spilling the contents inside. No. I need a handle which I can grip. So that one was a nice size, and of course it's nice and original with the wording at the front, nothing too over the top, just plain Star Wars. And as soon as I saw it, I think it was the contrast between the black and white, that Stormtrooper, Darth Vader attire, colour scheme. So I knew I had to have it, so I got it. So speaking of handles, that leads me on to the composer, or the next mug, and this is something which fits the purpose of the large handle perfectly. I've had this mug in my collection before I even started liking tea, even started thinking about it, even like tea. I've had this for so many years now. It's travelled with me pretty much everywhere. But it's the perfect size cup or mug. It has that big handle. The colours are just bright and just pleasing to look at. But the thing about this particular mug is the inside, and it's deep, like it goes well on in there, which means you could fill it up with a hot chocolate about that much and then have excess for marshmallows. So this serves the purpose of hot chocolate and biscuits very well. So this is when I'm feeling somewhat sweet toothy and I really want to indulge in a good drink in the evening. But of course, we're here to know about the mugs, but also to hear the sound. So let's see what this one's got to offer. Sound to me just sounds like a mug, which means it's tea time. Didn't realise it has these different types of levels of sound to it. So I hope that really is helping getting you triggered. I think out of the selection of mugs we've experienced together so far, I think that one must be my favourite for sound and variety. So the next mug is another favourite of mine. These are my favourites. Each of them, like I said, has their own different purpose, different category. This particular mug was bought for me, and if you're watching, then here it is, featured and still being used. And as you can probably tell, it's been well used by now. I'm forever grateful for this mug still. But this mug in particular is one of my favourites for tea. It has a really nice texture about it. It feels nice and sort of, I don't know, sort of matte yet glossy. But it has a good texture to it, but also a good sound. Like a constant ring. With a very deep tap on it as well. So I bet I'm thinking that you would be here with me, relaxing to mugs right now, listening to mug sounds, but this is just another fine example of making ASMR out of literally anything. And for me, ASMR comes from many things, but if I have associations with it, knowing that this makes me tea, it really makes me feel good, so I know it has nice sounds to it. And each mug is of course unique and different and not the same, so they all have their own tune. Mugs and tea are my favourite things. I couldn't imagine not having about 10 herbal teas a day, and I always recommend herbal tea because it just makes you feel good. It's good for you. It's different flavours, there are so many, so it's great. That's probably why I've learnt about the fine art of mug selecting. When you see a good mug, then you must get it. And I have quite a lot of unique mugs, but these ones are the ones that probably get used the most / get looked at the most. But the thing is with these mugs, is the handle, and it's metal, so it's quite weighty and heavy as well, so it feels like a good mug just to hold as well. Which brings us on to another mug, and this is a special mug. It has its very own category, and that is the "you're too good to be used to drink out of. You should be put on a shelf and looked at and enjoyed" category. And for me, this is a mug which I haven't seen before, and I loved it so much with the silver and white contrast you see inside the mug. I just love that texture. It looks so good, and it complements each other as well. If this was to be used, I'm sure it would be a hot chocolate type mug. Of course, it is Star Wars themed on it, featuring Captain Phasma on the mug. But it wasn't the character. I'm not a massive fan of Captain Phasma as a whole, but the mug is so awesome. It had to be part of my collection. And I love Phasma's helmet anyway, so it looks really cool. But you have to be careful with some of these mugs, and many Star Wars mugs in particular. If you collect them, like myself, it says that you can't use them in the dishwasher, or you can't put them in the microwave, and you wouldn't want your mug to get ruined or the print to fade, because that would be terrible. And we've all been there as well, when you've got a mug and you put it in the microwave, you've got something good inside and you put it in there and it's there on the microwave, and then it starts turning around and it's nearly ready, and then it's ready, and then you open up the microwave and grab the handle and send your hand for the next week. So you've got to be careful with some of these mugs, particularly the Star Wars ones, but still an awesome mug. So let's get some Captain Phasma sounds from this one then. There's a similarity there between the mug tapping and rain falling on the roof or the car roof of anything. It's very pleasing, very ASMR inducing and trigger worthy. So thank you, Phasma, for attending our mug specialist session where both of us are here to enjoy the pleasures of your sounds. Thank you. Yes. Now this is my most recent mug, which is in my collection, and this one in particular is just everything about it I just love so much, and as soon as I saw it, I just knew it had to come and join me and the others. This mug features characters from Star Wars: A New Hope, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Ben Kenobi, and it just harkens back to just that original feel and vibe for the Star Wars movies. So that to me was already a winner. But then it gets even better, as it looks like quite a large mug, and for my big hands it's just perfect for holding and just feeling like you've got a cup in your hand, and it's not going to be too delicate or fragile, which means the handle on it, which accompanies the mug itself, is large enough to be enjoyed and have a handy grip on it. Now I have to be careful that I don't start going on a tangent about Star Wars, because I could talk for days on end about everything and how much I love it, and Star Wars lore and everything. It's get a bit overwhelming, so we're just here to enjoy the pleasures of Star Wars mug, not to have a movie review or a Star Wars lesson. But I can just talk about Star Wars non-stop. It's just very natural to me. But it's all encompassed in this mug, and is a reminder for me on how amazing it is. So it has everything going for it. I even get the tag on just because anything which has Star Wars packaging on it looks good, then it stays. I'm very firm about that. But also, it is microwave and dishwasher safe, which is perfect. So it ticks every box. Of course, if you want those hot chocolates, which quantity-wise is a bit more, then this is indeed the one to turn towards, and sounds good as well. So these mugs do sound pretty good. They're just so great. I need to buy more mugs. It serves the purpose of making you feel nice and full. Not only does it look after your tea, but also it makes some great sounds. So my next mug fits in the category of you are too amazing to be even used category, and I haven't even drunk a single tea or chocolate or anything from this mug. As soon as I got it, and it was a gift, I knew it was just the perfect special mug for me. It is textured and layered, and for me, bear in mind the other mugs have a certain theme. For me, it was just amazing, and I loved it so much. It has a great shape. I feel like I'm talking it up so much, like someone's going to just walk in and give them a humongous intro, but it is just a mug. But this mug in particular serves a separate purpose, and this particular mug is my Darth Maul mug, and it just has the most amazing texture to it. It feels so good. The handle is just perfect. Like, it just has the best grip that I'd only ever want in a mug handle. And it just feels really comfortable, and if I were to fill it up and add it to the category of you're going to enjoy some teas out of it, then I'm sure it will hold a great cup of tea too. But you're probably wondering, why, what is all that mess you have inside your mug? Well, this mug is exceptionally important, as it contains every single cinema ticket that I've ever been to. I've kept every single one, right from the Phantom Menace when I saw it when I was 9 years old, the first cinema ticket which I ever had, to the latest thing I went to see, which was probably Beauty and the Beast. I think so. But I love movies. Me and movies, it's my passion. It's what I like to do. So when I go and watch movies as well, then I like to keep them as a momentum. So I'll look back in time and remember all the films which I've been to. I liked it when they had the original movie tickets, like the card, and you put it in there. But now they usually go for these receipts. But it's still part of the collection. So this one stands proud on its own shelf and just looks awesome. But we're here to get some some sounds out of it, of course. So there is my favorite, my Darth Maul mug, which does create some pretty nice sounds and has nice textures. And it really is my favorite mug, I think. So, thank you, Darth Maul, Sith Lord, and that for sure is my favorite. So, those were just a collection of the mugs which I hold near and dear to me, and of course I'm a firm believer of the more mugs the merrier. So I hope you enjoyed going through my favourite collection there and listening to the sounds they make, and maybe you got triggered or really triggered, in which case great, you got triggered by some mugs, and that's pretty great. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you again soon. Cheerio.